Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is on January 1st, 2024. It's on Monday and sunny outside. Happy New Year! How are you spending the New Year? Are you enjoying the holidays? Are you enjoying the vacation? Or are you obliged to work today? Are you forced to work today? Are you compelled to work today? Or what do you have to study today for examinations? Or do you have nothing to do today? It depends on your schedule. It hinges on your schedule. It depends on your schedule. It's all up to your schedule. It's dependent on your schedule. I hope 2024 will be better than 2023. I hope your 2024 will be also better than 2023. Having visited the country more than 4 times, I could guide my friends around. Having watched the movie more than 3 times, I could understand the line better this time. Having prepared enough, the examination was a piece of cake. Admitting that I have studied much on a daily basis, I cannot feel much progress in the subject. Admitting that I have studied and practiced enough or longer than average, I cannot feel much progress in it. Admitting that I have taken more time for the practice, I cannot feel much progress in it. Admitting that I am taking more time for the practice, I cannot feel much progress. Admitting that I am dedicating more time to the practice, I cannot feel any much progress. Admitting that I'm taking more time for the practice at the sacrifice of any other things, I cannot feel much progress in it. Admitting his accomplishment is excellent, awesome, but I cannot accept his rude attitude. Admitting that he did very well on the examination, but I cannot accept his arrogant attitude. Having prepared enough for the examination, I couldn't make heads or tails of about 80% of the questions in the examination. Having prepared enough from 3 months before the examination, I couldn't make heads or tails of most of the questions. Having studied much 3 months before the examination, I couldn't make heads or tails of most of the parts. Having studied and prepared enough 3 months before the examination, I couldn't make heads or tails of most parts of the examination. I, as well as you, was almost crying while taking examination. Admitting that his accomplishment is awesome, but most of us, including me, cannot accept his arrogant attitude. Admitting that his accomplishment is awesome and deserves to be praised. I, as well as you, cannot accept his obstinate, stubborn attitude. Admitting that his accomplishment is very good, awesome, and deserves to be praised, deserves praised. We cannot accept his obstinate, arrogant, stubborn attitude. Admitting that he did well on the job with a lot of good reputation, but I cannot embrace him showing off his glory. Admitting his accomplishment is great, but I cannot accept him and showing off his glory. Admitting that his accomplishment is awesome and great and deserves to be praised. But we cannot accept him showing off the glory too much. Admitting that his accomplishment is great, but we cannot embrace his showing off his glory too much. Admitting that he did great on the business. Sticking to money too much is something I don't know how to say something. Admitting that his accomplishment is great, but we cannot accept his showing off his glory. Admitting that I'm taking more time for the practice. I cannot feel much progress compared to my classmates. Admitting that I'm taking more time for the study. I cannot feel progress in that compared to those around me. Admitting that I'm taking more time than average for my study on a daily basis. I cannot feel much progress. Admitting that I'm taking more time for the practice of the text, I cannot feel any progress recently at all. Having spent more time for the study in preparation of the examination, my score was lower than my rival, who had spent less hours than me. Having spent more time than my rival to study the subject in preparation for the examination, my score was lower than my rival, who had spent less hours, less time for the study. What's that? Admitting that I'm taking more time for the practice of the musical instrument. My skill is not improving much. Admitting that I'm taking more time for the practice of the musical instrument, but the skill and ability is not improving much. I hate it. Having prepared enough and much for the examination 3 months before, I still couldn't make heads or tails of most parts of the examination. And having prepared much 3 months before the examination, I couldn't comprehend most parts of the examination. Admitting that I'm taking more time for the practice of the musical instrument, I cannot feel much progress in it. I tried so hard when I was a student, both physically and mentally. Working in the company was not such tough. It was easier. Educated to bow when he gets a food. The pet dog always bows when he wants to get a food from the owner. Educated to bow when he wants to eat food. The pet dog always bows when he wants to get the food. Educated to scrub both hands when he wants to get the food. The raccoon scrubs his hands when he wants to get food. Educated in United States, my friend can speak English fluently. Exhausted as I was, I went to the restaurant with my friends in the middle of the midnight. Exhausted so badly, I skipped taking a bath. Being so late at night, I stayed in a capsule hotel, not going home. Exhausted so badly, I fell asleep without taking a bath. Exhausted so badly, I slept on the bed without going to a bathroom, without taking a bath, without taking a shower. I took the shower on the following day, following morning. Exhausted so badly, I skipped taking a shower. Brought up in Kansai area. I have a dialect of Kansai region. Grown up Growing up in Kansai region, I have a dialect of Kansai region. Brought up in Kansai region, I have a dialect of it. Blown off so heavily. Many fallen leaves were on the road. Blown off so violently by the wind. Many fallen leaves were on the road. Insulted by many anonymous people in the internet. The person took a legal action against it. Insulted in the TV program. The actor filed a lawsuit. The teacher speaking so fast, I couldn't understand it. The native speaker having spoken so fast, I couldn't understand it. Written in easy Japanese, I think this Japanese book will be good for your study. It being on Monday, the hair salon was closed. It being before the opening time, of course the shopping mall was closed. It being before the opening time, the shopping mall was closed. It being on Monday, the hair salon was closed. It being on Monday, the hair salon was open only for me. Weather permitting, the sports meeting will be held. The sports meeting will take place, weather permitting. If the weather permits, sports meeting will be held. If the weather permits, the sports meeting will be held. If the weather permits, the sports meeting will take place. The sports meeting will take place, weather permitting, 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 weather permitting. weather permitting, weather permitting. The festival will be held weather permitting. The last members of the music group are permitting, the live will be held. Our boss permitting, the budget will be given. Our boss permitting, the budget will be given. Passed. More than half of the voters being in favor of the police bill, it will be passed. More than half of the voters agreeing to the bill, it will be enacted. More than half of the voters agreed to the bill, it will be enacted. More than half of the voters agreeing to the bill, it will be enacted. More than half of the voters agreed to the bill, it will be enacted. It being on Monday, the hair salon was closed. It being on Monday, the hair salon was closed. Me exhausted so much. I fell asleep without taking a shower. Too late as it was, I went to the convenience store to get food and drinks. So hungry as I was, I forgot lunch and worked on my duty. There being no food and drinks in the refrigerator, we went to the supermarket. There being enough food and drinks in the refrigerator, we didn't go shopping. There being a lot of money in the family, they don't hesitate to pay money for anything. There being a lot of money in the family, they don't hesitate to spend money on anything. There being a lot of money in the family, they don't hesitate to spend money. He's having a lot of money. His friends always ask him to give them money. Lend them money. He's having a lot of money. His friends often come to him to lend them money. It being on Monday, the hair salon was closed. There being no evidence. So he found out to be innocent. There being no food and drinks in my refrigerator. I went to the supermarket to get some. There being no food and drinks in my fridge. I went to the supermarket to get some. Not knowing it was Sunday. Not knowing it was Monday. I went to the hair salon, only to find it closed. The destination located in the place where any public transportation is not available. So we took a car there. The venue not being able to be approached by any public transportation, we took a car there. The venue being not accessible from with any public transportations, we took a car there. The socket of the electrical device being left behind for more than 3 years. I cleaned it. The tourist spots always crowded with tourists. I skipped passing there. There being no excitement today, I'm planning to go to the sea. Many shops being closed today. I will not go out today. Many shops being closed today. I will not go out today. Many shops being closed today. I will study here today. Many shops being closed today. I will spend my time at home watching YouTube videos. Many shops being closed on New Year holidays. I will spend my time doing what I like at home. Many shops being closed on January 1st. I will spend my time at home, relaxing, sitting back, idling away, and so on. The sports meeting will be held, weather permitting. Many shops being closed on January 1st. I will spend my time at home. Flight tickets, accommodations being so expensive in New Year's, in the end of the year and New Year. I will escape having a trouble during the season. flight tickets and accommodations being so expensive during the New Year holidays, I will skip going for a trip during the season. Flight tickets and accommodations being so expensive during the New Year holidays, I will skip go on a trip. I will go on a trip. I will skip going on a trip. Flight tickets and accommodations and other services being so expensive during the New Year holidays, I will skip having a travel there. Having a travel then. Flight tickets and other accommodations and other services being so expensive during the New Year holidays, I prefer to spend my time doing something other than having a travel. If I have a travel on New Year holidays, I will take a car. The event will be held weather permitting. The event will be held weather permitting. The event will be held weather permitting. Weather permitting. If the weather permits, the sports meeting will be held on schedule. In schedule. On schedule. Weather permitting. 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 It being on Monday, the hair salon was closed. Many shops being closed on January 1st. I learned it from my lesson. I will not go shopping today. Many shops are being closed on January 1st, which I learned from last year. I will not go for shopping today. Many shops being closed. Many shops being closed, even the ones which are usually open on Saturdays and Sundays. I will not go for shopping today. Many police officers patrolling around the venue. The criminal was arrested soon. Many police officers patrolling around the expressway. The speeding car was immediately arrested, pulled over, detected, spotted. More number of police officers are being hidden and hiding behind the expressway with standby. The speeding car was pulled over. More police officers are hiding along the expressway. More speeding cars were pulled over. Many police officers hiding along the expressway. More speeding cars were pulled over. It being on Monday, the hair salon was closed. There being no food and drinks in my fridge, I went for shopping. There being no food and drinks in my refrigerator. I went to the supermarket to get some. There being no food and drinks in my refrigerator. I went to the theater. Why theater? Our boss getting so angry. We behaved so seriously in order not to make him more angrier. Our boss being so angry, we behaved so seriously, moderately, humbly. The weather going so bad. We postponed the event until next week, until the following week. The weather forecast is so bad on Sunday. We put off holding the event until the following week. Weather, the weather forecasted so bad on the planned day. We postponed holding the event until the following year. The weather on Sunday forecasted rainy. We postponed the meeting. We postponed the event until the following week. The weather on Sunday forecasted as snow. We put off holding the event until the next following week. The merchandise I had wanted to buy being on sale in the department store, I caught at it immediately. The product I had wanted to buy and being on sale, I caught at it. Please make sure you turn off the kitchen by all means. Please make sure to turn off the kitchen stove. Please make sure to turn off the stove by all means, 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 by all means. Be sure to turn off the stove by all means. Make sure to turn off the stove by all means, 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 by all means. Make sure to turn off the stove by all means. Make sure to turn off the stove by all means. Submit the report by the deadline by all means. Arrive at the destination 30 minutes before the train departs by all means. Please check if all of the documents are enclosed in the envelope by all means. Please make sure that all of the required documents are enclosed in the envelope by all means before you send it. Please check if all of the documents are enclosed in the kit. Please make sure that all of the documents are enclosed in the packet by all means. Please check if all of the documents are enclosed in the envelope by all means before you send it. Please make certain that all of the required documents are enclosed in the envelope by all means before you send it. Generally speaking, we feel glad when we get more than expected. Generally speaking, we feel happy when we get more than expected. Generally speaking, most of the people behave as everyone else does. Generally speaking, most of the people behave as everyone else. Generally speaking, most people take the course as everyone else does. Generally speaking, most of the people take the course which is taken by everyone else. Majority. Generally speaking, smoking is considered to be bad for our health. Generally speaking, many products are sold for on sale on New Year's Eve and the New Year. Generally speaking, many shops hold sales during the New Year holidays. Generally speaking, many shops hold sale during New Year holidays. Generally speaking, many shops hold sale during New Year vacation. Generally speaking, many shops hold sale during New Year holidays. Generally speaking, many shops hold sale during the New Year holidays. Generally speaking, many shops hold sale during New Year holidays. Generally speaking, many shops hold New Year sale. Generally speaking, many shops hold New Year sale. Generally speaking, many shops hold a sale during the New Year holidays. Generally speaking, many shops hold New Year sales. Generally speaking, many shops hold sale during the New Year holidays. Considering the event which will be held on this Sunday, the traffic road will be congested. Considering the event which is done by the famous artist in the hall, the access to the hall will be so crowded. Considering your recent performance, maybe you will be promoted to the general manager. Considering the bad situation of the economy, I will skip having a travel. Considering dropping yen, I will skip having a foreign trip. Considering dropping yen, I will skip going on a trip to a foreign country. Considering the amount of food, I will refrain from taking sugar. Considering the performance of the rest of the day, I will limit the fullness of my stomach up to 80% after lunch. Considering the performance of the rest of the day, I will limit what I eat up to 80% full. Considering the performance of the rest of the day after eating lunch, I will limit the amount up to 80% or 70%. Considering the performance of the rest of the day of the amount of the lunch, I will limit the amount up to 80% fulfillment. Considering the performance of the rest of the day, I will limit the volume of lunch up to 80% full. Considering the performance of the rest of the day after eating lunch, I will limit the amount up to 80% full. Considering that you have been sick for a week, you had better go to see a doctor. Considering you have been suffering from the disease for more than a week, you had better go to see a doctor. Considering you have engaged in the industry for more than 20 years, you are really into that. Considering you have engaged in the practice of the musical instrument, you really like it. Considering you have engaged in the project, you have the ability to continue doing long. Considering that you have engaged in the sports, you have the ability to continue doing one thing long. Considering that the weather on the next Sunday is predicted as sunny, the event will be held. Considering the traffic congestion on weekends, I will leave my house much earlier, like 2:30 a.m., in order to avoid the traffic congestion. Considering that the next Sunday is expected as rainy, the event will be postponed until the following next week. Considering that the Sunday is predicted as snowy, the event will be postponed until next week. Considering that more and more Diet members from the political party are found to be nothing. Considering that more and more wrongdoings are done by the Diet members of the political party, it might be difficult for the political party to win the election next. Considering that more and more wrongdoings committed by the diet members of the political party being disclosed, it might be difficult for the political party to win the election next time. Given the situation of dropping yen, I don't go on a trip to a foreign country. Given the nutrition, I will eat vegetables more recently. Given that the event is going to be held in the hall on Sunday, traffic congestion will be expected, predicted, anticipated, presumed, assumed. Given the traffic congestion, we are better off leaving our house 30 or 1 hour earlier than usual. Given the traffic congestion during the peak season, we are better off leaving our house 30 minutes or 1 hour earlier than usual. Given the development of new technologies, more and more employees might be fired. Given that more new technologies are being developed, more and more employees might be fired, laid off. Given that the economy is shrinking, more and more employees seems to be in a serious situation. Given that the economy is shrinking, more and more employees in a worse situation. And given that the next Sunday is expected to be heavy rainy, the event will be cancelled. The event seems to be called off at all. Given my score on the test, maybe I will give up taking the examination of the university. Given my low score of the test, I will give up taking the entrance examination of the university. Given the price of the product, I cannot buy it. I cannot afford to buy it. I cannot afford buying it. Given the distance from my hotel to the destination, I will walk there. Given the distance from the hotel to the destination, I will walk there. Given that the download of the files take more than 1 hour, I will do other things while being downloaded. Given that the download takes about 1 hour, I will do other things while it being downloaded. Given that the file of 350 gigabytes takes about 6 hours, I will go outside while them being downloaded. Given that the transfer of 350 gigabytes of files take about 6 hours, I will go out and for shopping while them being transferred to my portable HDD hard disk. Given that transferring the 350 gigabyte data into the portable hard disk takes about 6 hours, I will go outside and for shopping while them being transferred. Given the current time, it's time we went to bed. Considering the current time, it's time we went to bed. Considering the current time, we ought to climb down the mountain immediately now, so that we can reach the foot of the mountain before it gets dark. Considering the current time, we ought to climb down the mountain from now, in order to reach the foot of the mountain before it gets dark. Given the dropping yen, exporting company will earn more profit. Given the situation of dropping yen, the exporting company will get more profits this year. Given the dropping yen, the exporting companies back in 2023 must have earned much profits. Given the dropping yen of back in 2023, the exporting companies must have earned a lot of money. Given the dropping yen back in 2023, many exporting companies must have made a lot of profits. Given that the temperature on the top of Mount Fuji is very cold, we had better bring a jacket and some food and drinks beforehand in advance. Given that it takes about 3 hours from our hotel to the airport, we ought to leave 5 hours before the departure of the airport, of the flight. Considering the time, given that it takes about 3 hours from our hotel to the international airport, we ought to leave our hotel 5 hours before the departure time of the flight, so that we can get to the international airport 2 hours before the 2 hours before the departure of the flight. considering my score on the test, I will give up taking the entrance examination of the university. Given the congestion on weekends, I prefer to visit there on weekdays. Given that there are many tourists on weekends, I prefer going there on weekdays. Frankly speaking, the meal was not tasty for me. Frankly speaking, the cuisine was not for me. Frankly speaking, I don't want to eat rice in the morning. Frankly speaking, the cuisine served in the fancy restaurant was not tasty for me at all. It was just expensive and a waste of money for me. I wish I had spent 10,000 yen for other things. Frankly speaking, the cuisine served in the fancy restaurant was not tasty at all. Frankly speaking, 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 frankly speaking. Frankly speaking, 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 frankly speaking. Frankly speaking, 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 frankly speaking. The movie was boring. Frankly speaking, I haven't finished the homework yet. Frankly speaking, I haven't practiced the musical instrument at all. Frankly speaking, I'm not ready at all. Frankly speaking, I'm not ready yet. Frankly speaking, I'm not ready. 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 Frankly speaking, I don't like her. Frankly speaking, I don't like her. Frankly speaking, I didn't find the cuisine made by my friend tasty. Frankly speaking, your playing needs fixing a lot. Frankly speaking, your play needs amendment a lot. Frankly speaking, your play on the stage at the event needs pointing out a lot. Frankly speaking, your performance on the stage needs fixing a lot. Frankly speaking, your playing at the piano is violent. Frankly speaking, the cuisine was just expensive. Frankly speaking, the cuisine was nothing but expensive. Frankly speaking, the cuisine was none other than expensive. Frankly speaking, you need practicing and you need training. Frankly speaking, you need training. You want training. My computer wants fixing. My computer wants fixing. Frankly speaking. Frankly speaking. Frankly speaking. I don't want to participate in the party. Frankly speaking, I don't feel like participating in the party. Frankly speaking, I don't feel taking part in the party. Frankly speaking, I don't feel like joining the party. Frankly speaking, frankly speaking. Frankly speaking, frankly speaking, frankly speaking. Frankly speaking. Frankly speaking, I haven't finished the work yet. Frankly speaking, your work performance is not repeated well. Frankly speaking, I flunked mathematics. Flunked mathematics. Frankly speaking, I failed in the examination. Frankly speaking, I failed in the examination. Frankly speaking, I failed in the car test. Frankly speaking, I failed in the driving test. Judging from the weather condition, the sports meeting will be postponed until the next week. Judging from his expression on his face, maybe he failed in the examination. Judging from his happy attitude, maybe she has been proposed to by her boyfriend. Judging from his attitude, maybe he hit the lottery. Judging from his incredible attitude, maybe he won the lottery. Judging from the weather condition, the event will be put off until the next week. Judging from the exit poll, Liberal Democratic Party seems to win the election. Judging from the exit poll, Liberal Democratic Party seems to be the ruling party. Talking of New Year holidays, what is your plan? Speaking of New Year holidays, what is your plan? Talking of New Year holidays, do you know about osechi ryori, special prepared cuisine for New Year holidays? Speaking of New Year holidays, what do you like to do? Talking of New Year holidays, what do you like to do during this season, during these holidays, during this vacation? Talking of computer, no one can type the keyboard as fast as him. Talking of computer, no one can type the keyboard as fast as him. Speaking of computer, no one can type the keyboard as fast as him. Talking of New Year's Eve, I always enjoy watching the TV, special TV program. Talking of examinations, a few years this time I was studying for the test. Talking of examinations, examinees must have been studying so hard now in preparation for entrance examinations. Speaking of examinations, examinees must have been studying hard now in preparation for the examinations, which are usually conducted in January, February, March. Talking of examinations, examinees must have been studying so hard now, because most examinations are held in January, February, and March. Talking of examinations, examinees must have been studying so hard now. Talking of traveling, I prefer to travel with trains. Speaking of traveling, I prefer to travel with trains. Talking of traveling, I prefer staying in a guest house to save money. Speaking of traveling, I prefer staying in a guest house in order to save money. Talking of traveling, I usually save money by staying in a hostel because I just go home to sleep. I just go to the hotel to sleep. I just go to the accommodation to sleep. Talking of going on a trip, I usually pay little for the accommodation in order to save money, as Accommodation is a place where I just go to sleep. So, talking of accommodation, I usually stay in a reasonable hostel or guest house. Strictly speaking, whales are classified as mammal. Strictly speaking, whales are classified as mammal. Strictly speaking, whales are classified as mammal. Strictly speaking, whales are classified as mammals. Strictly speaking, Mount Fuji is also classified as active volcano. Strictly speaking, Mount Fuji is also classified as an active volcano. Strictly speaking, Mount Fuji is also classified as an active volcano. Strictly speaking, you are playing the piano needs fixing a lot. Strictly speaking, there are many flaws in the product. Strictly speaking, static electricity is running even before certain amount of voltage is given to the semiconductor. Strictly speaking, static electricity is actually running even in the semiconductor before it is given a certain amount of voltage. Strictly speaking, 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 my score was 99 in 100 in total, 100 in total, but thanks to my teacher's favor, I got 100 perfect score. Strictly speaking, my score was 99 to 100. 99. In 100. But thanks to my teacher's favor, I got 100 perfect score. Strictly speaking, whales are classified as mammal. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!